So Luffy's crew has finally arrived in Loguetown, the town known as the beginning and the end, and we got to see the actual execution of Gold Roger, the day where the Great Pirate Era began, the day that he proclaimed that all of the treasure in the world he has left to be discovered still in the Grand Line. And it's such a crazy, weird scene, you know, when he's walking towards his execution platform, he has this biggest grin. Like, to be fair, during the whole flashback when he's talking about going to the Grand Line, when he's getting executed, he never stops smiling. He reminds me a little bit of Luffy in that regard, and considering Luffy wants to become the king of the pirates, to share that sort of resemblance, I think is quite interesting. But I wonder, what was the main reason for Gold Roger's execution? I don't believe that's really been explained, besides the fact that he is a pirate. Well, not just a pirate, the king of the pirates. It's a bit strange that he was publicly executed like this. Maybe he was made to make an example out of. Maybe it was pre-planned to spark this great pirate era by somebody or something like that. I don't know. I feel like there's more to his execution than meets the eye, and I'm sure we'll learn more about that eventually. I could be wrong. Maybe it just, like I said, he's the king of the pirates, so the government wanted to get rid of him or something like that. I don't quite know, but I think there's more to it than it seems already. And with One Piece, there's always more meaning and purpose behind everything. Oda doesn't do anything for no reason. Do you know what I mean? Everything has a purpose. This world is so lovingly crafted and thought of. There's definitely more of a reason for his execution than just, you know, he's a pirate. He's the king of the pirates and he needs to die, sort of thing. Maybe he found something that the government didn't want anybody to know the information about. I don't know. There's something there. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I've just got my tinfoil hat on. I'm not sure. While Luffy is looking for the execution platform during this episode, he finds a little bar run by this old man called the Gold Roger Bar, and he has all these stories about Gold Roger, about how he defeated all these pirates, all these villains. And how they all feared him, how he's the only man that didn't fear the Grand Line, how he is the greatest eternal pirate ever, pretty much. And it's really nice seeing him tell these stories to Luffy and have these two share this passion about this one figure. Like, the stuff that the old man's telling Luffy sounds like myth. It sounds like stuff of legends. But, you know, if he is the king of the pirates, Gold Roger, and I believe every word of it. He's even got a skull of one of the people that Gold Roger defeated in battle or killed, literally. So it's really cool hearing all of this lore about the king of the pirates, this person, this catalyst of the great pirate era, and the old man sees the spirit of Gold Roger in Luffy for sure. But besides all of that, we get to see the other crew members going around Loguetown. You know, Nami's going clothes shopping. Well, I say clothes shopping, she tries on a bunch of clothes and then just leaves, which is hilarious. I don't think Nami actually likes spending money, she just likes having it. Do you know what I mean? And you have Usopp getting absolutely scammed, which is hilarious considering who he is and what he's like. The fact that he's going to this like shop of all these antiques that I'm sure aren't even remotely accurate to what he's being sold. Like, he got one of Gold Roger's favorite guns. I don't think that's real. Personally, just based on the design, I could be wrong. But seeing Usopp get scammed, it's funny. Sanji, I thought he was literally going to look for ingredients, but what by ingredients he means women. I should have known. And the woman that we've been seeing with Buggy's crew is there as well, who I think is probably Alvida. She's there, and Sanji's got his eye on her, so I guess that's how she's going to integrate into Luffy's crew, into the story. And most interestingly, Zoro finds a person that just looks just like Kuina, who happens to use swords and be really like good with it as well. Like, she defeats these two pirates like nothing. There's definitely more to it. Is she related to Kuina in some sort of way? I'm sure we'll find out, but I think that's very interesting. There is still some mystery, I think, surrounding Kuina's death. It seemed a bit like strange when it happened, so maybe, you know, there's more to this. And the other big part about this episode is we got introduced to a new character called Captain Smoker, who's one of the strongest members of the Navy, it appears, and he even has a devil fruit power, and he's basically there to stop pirates coming into Loguetown to, you know, disturb everything, because Loguetown is known as like the stopping place for pirates before they go to the Grand Line, although Captain Smoker's sort of stopping that. That's why the old man in the bar doesn't like him, because I think he's stopping his business basically by defeating all these pirates. But he's clearly a threat, but I don't think he's a bad guy at all. There's a scene where there's like a little girl that runs into him and like ice cream goes on his trousers basically, and Smoker actually apologizes to her for, you know, her losing her ice cream. So I think that just goes to show he's not a bad guy at all. It's just 99% of the people in this show that work for the government seem to be bad. Do you know what I mean? So whenever I see the Navy or somebody in the Marines, I just automatically think that guy's a prick. But this guy seems all right. He just seems to be doing a job. But, you know, he doesn't seem like the nicest guy, the way he was talking to that old man in the bar, you know. But, you know, I don't think he's terrible, you know. But the episode ends off with Luffy finding the execution platform, you know, the beginning of the Great Pirate Era, where his hero, the person he aspires to be, was executed, and Smoker pursuing him. So I'm excited for that to continue and see exactly what Smoker's all about. Is he going to be able to actually do anything to Luffy? Because so far, Luffy's just destroyed absolutely everybody. But we'll have to see. Apparently, the smoker dude's really strong. But mainly, I'm excited to learn more about Logtown and the lore behind everything, and see what this town is about because it seems really lively and interesting. Just like literally every place in One Piece, everything is so lovingly crafted. Like I said, there's a reason for everything and a purpose for everything, and it makes it so interesting to watch.